Just a friendly reminder that the opinions expressed on this show are not worth a Canadian penny, so disregard anything you hear that might get anyone in trouble. And despite some of the great ideas you may hear, don't try them at home. Go to a friend's house instead.
It's time to get a gun. That's what I've been thinking. Well, I could afford one. And if I did just a little less drinking, time to put something between me and the sun. When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.
Hey everybody, welcome to Slamfire Radio, episode 336 for January 9th, 2020. Hey! I'm your host, Kelly.
I'm Adriel.
I'm Trevor.
And that's it. We have nobody else. Okay. So
This
how's
is
everybody?
all we need.
Happy New Year.
This is all we need.
This is all
And
we
you're
need.
getting everything you need right here, concentrated.
And everything you deserve.
Mm-hmm. Everything you
Maybe
paid
that's what
for.
you want.
Everything you paid for as well.
Everything you paid for and more, or less, depending on how you look at your value of money.
And time.
Do we do the exchange rate for the Americans?
It's not looking
Yeah,
good for them.
turns out we owe them money for listening.
Yeah. I did want to say to Dave, I hope you feel better. And Matthew, we miss you. New Year, not here. And to Trevor,
I'm here.
Trevor's
right
got a
there.
man cold too, but he's
toughed it out.
actually here.
Mhm.
So,
I'm going to do a lot of that tonight. I apologize.
God.
But, yeah.
yeah. Anyways. Okay, why don't we do what we did in guns? What we did in guns this week. What?
What did we do?
Let's did do that there.
bad.
Why don't we
Stuff.
do what we did with the guns?
You done?
Can you do a Sling Blade impression? I would love you to do the show as, Billy Bob Thornton.
Shut up.
You got
Okay.
a purty mouth.
Some people call it a Kaiser Blade. I call it a Sling Blade.
Mhm.
Kelly, you like them French fried potatoes?
I do like French fries, although I'm ketoing, so I'm not doing those. Okay.
All right. Could you please carry on with the show?
You guys are the
Yeah,
ones
this
that delayed
delay.
me.
Come on.
This is what happens
chop
with
chop.
a not strong lead host, right? Just dragging
Okay,
it
you
down.
know what? Trevor,
Yes.
shut up. Okay, what we
Kelly?
did in guns this week is brought to you by the Calgary Shooting Center. It's Canada's premier firearms retailer. And they have some clearance stuff going
Last-
on in there.
Last chance clearance. So when they're gone, they're gone. They have things like the Aimpoint Comp M4 Red Dot 650.
Mm.
They got an Archangel conversion kit for the 1022, $120. They have the ATI one, which is cool, way cooler than the Archangel. It's also $120. They've got a double. What? Why is that guy popping up on my screen? They have a double alpha shot max timer. So it's
Oh, that's cool. That's the watch
yeah.
one.
it's a watch.
Yeah.
It's a IPSC shot timer. Or if you
It's a
play
what?
a lesser game, you can use it for that too, like IDPA or whatever.
You could play it in a
Um,
man's game like 3-gun too.
It,
Works great for that.
Yeah, where the points don't matter and the rules are made up. So that's $250, and then they've got some rifles on sale. They've got some actions on sale. They've got targets on sale. They've got optics on sale.
They've got
one
those
more thing
Sword
worth mentioning.
Supremes.
What's that now?
They've got the MSA Sword and Supremes.
I was just gonna.
404s.
That's the last thing I was gonna mention.
Did you see the thing right next to him?
Yes, the motorboating cups for your ears if you
Mhm.
want to upgrade your MSA sword
And you need to.
kit. Yeah, you can for $45. You can feel like
Yeah.
your earmuffs are basically your motorboating is what you're going to do
Oh,
there.
it comes with a hygiene kit too for $45. That's such a good deal.
Yep.
It's called soap and water.
Yeah, that's yes. When you actually have green stuff growing on the foam in your hearing protection, it's time to get to the soap and water.
Is that what that
Uh,
is? I thought it was some sort
that's-
of like preservative in there or something.
No, well, it's
No?
it's.
That's
I
called
mean, it's like a
mold.
petri dish next to your ear is what's happening there. There's life that doesn't need to be that close to your ears. So watch your
Yeah, and
stuff.
when you spend like 3 weeks in a row, actually, it was only really technically 14 days. When you spend 14 days doing event after event after event and like spending 16 hours in them all day
Clean your stuff.
in the summer, you get green things.
They also have a Tikka T3 Tactical 308, 20-inch barrel, black synthetic for marked down from 2000 to 16, and a couple other Tikkas as well. So some cool stuff there in their final clearance, but no rain checks. When it's gone, it's gone. So
Cool.
check out their clearance section on their website.
I'm going to have to check it out. Okay. So what we're going to do tonight is we're actually going to have it's going to be a little bit longer because we've had 3 weeks, 2 weeks. How long we've been off?
It's the idea. It's going to be an abbreviated show because what we did in Guns will be longer because we've been off for 2 weeks.
Right.
So what we did in Guns is our main topic, essentially.
Yeah, basically. Okay, so Happy New Year, everybody. But we want to get into what we did in Guns. So we're going to go with Trevor first. So, Trevor, what'd you do in Guns this week? Or the last week? Or the week before?
So over the last 2 weeks, all kinds of stuff. I cleaned my 26-inch Versamax barrel because I put it for sale because I bought a 22-inch, so I certainly don't need that 26-inch. Versamax barrels are expensive, so I'm trying to offset the cost of my new 22-inch barrel. They advertise it as the turkey barrel, but if you buy a Versamax Tactical, it's the same barrel.
Really? Okay.
And only this one is chambered in 3.5. So I don't know that. Okay, I tell you what. All the Versamax barrels are chambered in half, but they don't label them all as such. So all the tacticals, for example, if you were to take a 3.5 12 gauge dummy round or something that a gunsmith would use to measure your chamber to find which chamber you have, there are tools for these things, and you dropped it in a Versamax tactical chamber, it would measure 3.5. So if you've been running a Versamax tactical and 3-gun and not maxing it out to 5 rounds of 3.5 because your barrel's not stamped 3.5, you could take it to a gunsmith.
There's a letter. There's a letter. There's a letter from Remington that I've seen people have. So some people with Versamax tacticals or whatever, they use the letter. They've got it printed and with them because
I would not do that. Sure, that might work, but I would much rather have it verified by a gunsmith. So take it to a gunsmith, have him measure your chamber, then he can actually take his stamps, stamp your chamber, and he can provide you with a letter from a verifier.
Right.
And a stamp. Can't argue with the stamp.
Well, you can if you decide to do it at home with a Dremel. I've decided this is 3.5.
Oh, God.
That could be done too.
It could be, but it doesn't come with a license verifier stamp of approval. So,
no.
So anyway, a little bit of information there for Versamax owners who may not be aware. You can get your barrel verified and measured to make sure it's in fact 3.5 and go from there. So right after last week's show, the next day, packed up the vehicle and went to Fredericton for the weekend to hang out with Filthy and Marcel and the boys. And we did our annual pilgrimage to Star Wars with Snuffy. Yeah. Friday night, we just did the liquor thing. Saturday, we did
Yoda
the range.
gets it.
How did what now? Nobody would have guessed that?
No, I said Yoda gets it.
Oh, Yoda.
He dies.
Yeah. Maybe Yoda wasn't in this, but
I was. People haven't seen it, right?
You're not nerdy enough for this conversation. I'm sorry. So we did the hangout thing on Friday, and then we did the movie on Saturday. We did exactly everything I said we would do. We drank on Friday. We went to the range on Saturday. Then we went to Star Wars Saturday night, and then Sunday we went and shot a steel challenge. Strangest thing happened. I didn't win.
What?
Yeah, I know. So
who beat you?
Larry.
Hi, Larry.
Now,
that
sounds
Larry's
important, but did you apply the fundamentals and follow your process? Because the result doesn't actually matter.
It does to Trevor.
It's good. It's good. Oh, don't use my own stuff against me, evil person. Anyway, all joking aside, so here's why Larry beat me. Larry's basically crippled, right? He's got like a bum hip, bum knee, bum back.
Well, then why did he beat you?
Because it was a no running match. It was a steel match. You just sit in a box, right? Or stay in a box. But anyway, No, he just shot me fair and square. That's all there's to it. I'm just trying to be funny. But I did bring this gun with me. I bought my limited custom extreme back from Rick Crane over in Newfoundland, and you'll never see this. The listeners certainly won't see it because they're listening, not looking. But if you're watching on the video, there's a pin at the front of the rear sight. And that's what holds the elevation portion into the body of the sight. And that pin was walking, so I'd shoot a couple of shots and I have to push the pin back in. So I've since repaired it by staking it with a staking punch. So hopefully it won't walk again. There's another steel match in a month. I'm going to bring it down there for somebody who's switching to standard division to try. And hopefully it will stay in while he tries it. So anyway, it took me a while to get warmed up with this gun, having been shooting a double action production optics gun for the last
so are you saying that you're blaming your equipment?
Nope, the gun is fine. Just I was out of practice with said gun. As the day went on, my stages were on fire, but too little too late. I probably gave away the first 4 and then but actually there was so it turns out Larry, and I hope you're listening, doesn't know how to use PractiScore or how to ask for help, and everything was all messed up in PractiScore. Wasn't it, Larry? Yes, it was. And stages got tossed. And he was joking when he said it, but I don't care. He still said it. I will continue to manipulate these results until I beat you. And in the end, the final copy of the results, he was in fact the winner of said match. So
this is the verifier.
PractiScore is all logged though, right? So even if it's like totally messed up, you can start to piece it together and move times to different stages, unless it's...
Well, we did that, only the problem is, okay, so he went with the Steel Challenge scoring in PractiScore, and they have names, right? Mm-hmm. And he put the same stage in there multiple times. He put in all 8, choose 4, delete the other 4, make sure the 4 you kept are different, and that's where things went awry. So we had scored stage 2 on stage, or we scored like stage 3 on stage 4. So I did that thing, Adriel, where you reassign the scores to the proper stage, but because it was like stage 3 was in there twice, it didn't work. So anyway, I think we ended up losing stage. All of this doesn't matter.
PractiScore put in some new features for Steel Challenge now. Did you guys use them?
I don't know. There's a new version of PractiScore every month, and I only look at it on the daily in the summertime. So I'm not sure. Like, I'll have to update my tablets and stuff before our season starts. And so, but anyway, it was nice to get it with my standard gun, and it's still awesome. It's still, I love my
it's comfortable to you, isn't it?
It is. That's it, Kelly. That's what I was trying to spit out here. It is for me the most ergonomic pistol I've ever held, as far as the size, shape, and angle of the grip, the location of the controls. It fits me beautifully. Perfect. Yeah, absolutely love it. And the Redback is very, very similar in all of that respect.
Still a little different though.
But because the grip is a little shorter on the Redback, so that's really the only difference. So still that's a lot of fun. And then of course we went to the gun dealer afterwards. I finally bought myself a bag of Black Rifle coffee.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, solid. Meh.
What did you get?
I got the Canadian as F.
I mean, these ones, they also come in Keurig pots.
Keurigs,
Keurigs at work.
Oh yeah,
well,
they're fast.
They are. Yeah. So that's cool. But I use a regular machine and a French press at home. So
aren't you special?
I am actually. I know. I make a mean cup of coffee. I was hoping for whole bean so I could use my grinder and my French press, but no such luck. Anyway, I give it a solid meh. Meh.
Try the AK-47. It's their espresso.
I don't like espresso. The darker the bean, the less the caffeine. The longer you roast it to get that bold roasted flavor,
but you're
cooking off the caffeine.
Double it up.
No, I'd rather drink a medium roast and get a jolt of caffeine out of it. That's where I'm at. So, And what else did I do while I was there? Oh, Filthy almost died.
What did you do?
Oh, always me. What did I do? You remind me of my mother. I come home with a black eye, and she's like, "What did you do to deserve that?" No, man. It had nothing to do with me. he slipped and fell on the ice. Don't give me that look. He slipped and fell on the ice.
Oh, he told me
old.
that, and he banged his head.
Right. Thank God he wears a helmet.
He wasn't wearing the helmet at the time.
No, he wasn't. But he had a hat on. If he hadn't had a hat on, he probably would have had a laceration on his head. So he was taking a shortcut, kind of beelining from the car to the door in the most direct route, which brought him in front of a car and next to the building and right underneath, and walked past the heat pump, and the heat pump had a puddle of ice under it, and it just snowed, fresh thin layer of snow, and you know what a fresh layer of snow in a parking lot is like over ice. Yeah, oh, he hit that and smashed his head for good measure on the way down. Thought we lost him. Thank God he's a clone. We could replace him.
Did he actually lose consciousness?
No, he didn't lose consciousness.
Oh, okay.
No.
Then he's fine. Walk it off.
Yeah, that's exactly what he did, Kelly. He got him and he walked it off.
I was talking to him and he's telling me and then he goes, "Oh yeah, and by the way, I almost died."
Yeah. Oh, man, he smashed his head good. Tough bastard.
Yeah.
Yeah, so anyway, I'm loving these steel matches. Larry puts on one a month in the wintertime. It's only 4 stages. It's just to keep the dust knocked off. It's almost like dry fire, but with live ammo. We do a gunny breakfast. Paul Lombard comes over from Woodstock, and Ken, and a bunch of us get together for breakfast. Then we go to the range, do the match, and then we go to the gun dealer, wrap up the day. And it's awesome. So now
I've never been to the gun dealer. I need to go there.
Yeah, when you if ever you do a maple seed at Larry's range in Thomaston Corner, yeah. Otherwise, it's way out of your way if you're just at Larry's range. But if you've never been, it's worth it. Whatever.
He wants us to go, so
be an hour.
Gonna try.
Yeah, and then I installed a new trigger in Marcel's 1911. So I bought Marcel a 1911 for, I don't know if it was any occasion or it was just like, here's a 1911, go shoot IPSC. And we've been working on it and upgrading it ever since. And for Christmas, I installed an X-Line Vario. This is the same trigger bar system that Atlas Gun Works uses. And what I really like about this trigger system is you've got your trigger bar that's in the gun, and then 1911 triggers come in either straight or curved, and the angle of the curve can be different. And then they come in short reach, medium reach, and long reach. Well, the way that these guys design their triggers is the trigger shoe itself is threaded onto the bar. It's not staked or welded or pressed in there. It's actually on a thread. So you can start with a short reach trigger. If a medium reach is too long and a short reach is too short, you can fine tune it a couple of turns outward at a time. It's awesome. So installed one of those, fitted it. All that's left now is to do the hammer and the sear, and that thing will have as nice a trigger as any other 1911 out there. It's quite cool. And then Casper and I went to the range, and I had stopped calling him Casper, but since he took one look at me and said, "All right, Skeletor, that's enough weight. You've lost enough weight. You can stop now." It's back to Casper. And so he sent a couple of slides up to Denis to mill for red dot optics, so we could mount the optic directly to the slide. This puts the optic in a much better location on your gun. Plus, it eliminates that whole dovetail slide thing. The optic can come loose on the mount, and the mount itself can come loose in the dovetail. I saw that happen at the last indoor IPSC match in Nova Scotia. So Denis milled 2 of them. We sent them back, and he reaches out to me and said, "I can't zero it." I'm like, "Can't zero it? That's odd."
Why?
All right. Well, I'll get to that.
Okay.
So got looking into it, and it was like, well, it depends on how Denis milled the slide. The top of the slide is not parallel with the bottom of the slide. The bottom of the slide is parallel with the frame rails, but the top of the slide is slanted forward for sight picture and sight angles and science and stuff. Maybe geometry, I don't know.
Geometry. Let's go with that.
Math and stuff. So
trigonometry.
So anyway, I got talking to Denis, and Denis is like, "Pretty sure I did that, but maybe not if you can't zero it. Like, this is not adding up." So I'm like, "Okay, man, I'm passing through. I'll pick up your slide. I'll pick up Ray's slide, and Denis will check them out. And if he has to do them again, he'll do them again. Piece of cake." "Oh no, Ray's is fine." "What do you mean Ray's is fine?" "Oh, Ray went to the range and zeroed his. And you couldn't zero yours?" "No, man, I had it in my vise, And I made some adjustments, and I held it up, and I looked at it, and there's just no way it'll zero. I see. How many rounds?
Oh, was he trying to co-witness the red dot with the front sight?
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's what he was trying to do, but he was trying to quote unquote zero it without actually shooting it.
He was trying to get the red dot on the front sight then, and it was too high. It would never get there.
I don't know, but let the tormenting commence. I didn't know how bad I would go at him on this. I was like, well, in my defense,
he's your gun dealer. You need to go not so hard.
No, I'm a gun dealer, moron. The guy who tried the owner of the gun, not the guy who did the work.
Okay.
Did you go to school with Chris? I think you went to school with Chris.
I wasn't listening.
That's good defense. Good defense.
I see Denis, and I'm going, really? Okay, go.
Everything Denis did was perfect. It's Chris who tried to quote unquote zero a gun without firing it.
Chris.
Yeah. Man. So anyway, Chris has got broad shoulders and thick skin, so I could try and make fun of him as much as I wanted. But I feel like it's ruined now because of Kelly. Like it's kind of taking the wind out of my sails. It's Kelly that should be made fun of now, right? Would you agree, Adriel? That
we got her pretty good at the start.
Don't go there.
Yeah, she wasn't following along, and oh man, foot and mouth. And anyway, so I went to the range with Chris so we could address this supposed I can't zero my gun problem.
Right.
Yeah. How many rounds do you suppose it took before I had a quarter-size group at 7 yards?
Well, was it on target?
Sure was.
3.
It sure was. And you know how I got it on target, Adriel? I screwed the elevation screw all the way to the bottom and then all the way to the top, and I counted the turns, and it was 6. So from the top, I went back down 3. And then I did the same on the elevation, all the way in, all the way out, counted the clicks. Turns, also 6 turns, put it back in 3. So now the optic is centered. I went to the range. First shot was like low right, low maybe 2 inches, maybe right 4 inches. A couple of clicks here and there. And within 1 mag, it was shooting a beautiful group in the middle. And then Chris got after it too. We also swapped springs. Every spring that you can swap in a Shadow 2, we swapped. And he ordered an M Carbo spring kit for his this SPO1, which is not actually a Shadow. It's all Shadows are SPO1s, but not all SPO1s are Shadows. Mm-hmm. I know this now after buying a SPO1 thinking I was getting a Shadow. Oops, read much. Anyway, so we had a good day at the range. We got his gun zeroed, all joking aside. It shoots really well. And I did some testing of some loads while we were there. It could have gone better. I will continue the development of those loads. And then I got 2 guns over the break. This one, Adriel, you've seen before. Yep. This is my Seneca Green Nylon 66 that Adriel had done a review on, and I was like, I want to buy it. And the guy was like, no, it's not for sale. I was like, it will be mine. Oh, yes, it will be. And now it is. So I'm very happy with it. The condition is nice. It's all original, not like my other one. There's an elevation screw in the rear sight that's not original, needs to be replaced. It doesn't say made at Long Branch, but it does say made in Canada. There's another one at the Calgary Shooting Center right now, just like this. With a scope on it. That's nope. Unfortunately for you, no. I'm totally fine. Thanks for asking. The one at the Calgary Shooting Center is like near mint. The bluing is excellent. There's no little nicks or dings, and it's got a period correct scope on it. It's they're asking $750 for it. There might be a little bit of wiggle room on there. So if you're a Nylon 66 collector, you need a Seneca Green because there was only 42,500 made. And you need one made in Canada. So if I could get one of each, the American and the Canadian, that'd be awesome. I'd like to do some research and find out if every color was made in Canada or not. I have seen pictures online of Nylon 66s that say Long Branch on them. They got to stop making variant guns. When you're a completist like I am, you want like one of every possible variant. Oh, God. And then while I was out to lunch with Filthy and the boys, Filthy is as much of an enabler or more of an enabler than I am.
Yes.
Well, because of Filthy, what day was this? Maybe this was after the range and before the movies. we were with Ben and Posby could have been there, Marcel. I don't know. I definitely remember Filthy being there. I ended up with this. So this is a Kui, and this is a probably one of the rarest Kuis.
Okay, where'd you get it from?
The rarest. I bought it off a guy in CGN.
Okay.
If it's not one of the rarest, it's certainly one of the most unique. It's a Kui Model 82, and it's a Canadian military trainer from World War II. It's got the broad C, indicates a Canadian military stamp on the receiver. It's got the broad C on the stock, and it's got the broad C on the bolt. The trigger is absolutely disgusting. It's horrific. It did not come with the correct peep sight. I've since found one that's new old stock, so it has been purchased and is in the mail, and it costs 1/4 the cost of the rifle. The wood is in good shape. I mean, you can tell this was a trainer, and it was put in and out of a gun rack and stuff. It's possible that somebody may have taken some linseed oil to it at one time or another, or true oil or tung oil or something, because I think I see some runs in it here. Yeah, trigger is one of the worst triggers I've ever held or pressed. The bolt was quite pitted, and it looks like they just threw it in a sandblaster, and that's it. They didn't do any polishing to it. They just sandblasted it and threw it into the gun. It's very rough, and I'm not super duper impressed. But, I mean, I just threw some CLP on it here before the show, and I will get around to sanding it with some 400 grit sandpaper.
Give it some nice barbecue paint on the action there.
No, stop it.
Bed liner for the stock. Make it like really usable. Yeah.
No, that's none of those things will be happening. But thank you for your contribution to this conversation.
Trying.
Yeah. Okay, moving along. What else? Oh, and I went to work a couple of times for Denis. I was supposed to go in today to work on some stuff, but man cold. And with the upcoming match this weekend, I leave tomorrow after work for Captain Andy's to go to another indoor AMA match. So I had to get some dry fire in.
Man, I'm jealous of all this match talk. Like out here, it is going to be -30 on Saturday.
Go to the Phoenix Indoor Range. They're doing indoor IPSC stuff.
Yeah, I know they are. I could go.
Well,
yeah.
All right then. So it's not like you don't have access to a match.
No.
What else? And then our annual general meeting for the Rescue Gun Club was last night.
How was that?
It was really, really good.
Good.
And I'm still the vice president.
Weird. I was just going to ask, did you...
A gun club meeting, and it was really, really good. What kind of universe is this?
They kept you?
Our meetings are like everybody else's meetings. It all depends who shows up.
Yeah.
And when none of the assholes show up, the meetings are really, really good. So if you weren't at the meeting last night and you're listening, maybe you're the asshole I'm talking about. So
it's a
just
mystery.
Saying.
So,
you know that saying, if you keep running into assholes, maybe you're the asshole. Well, no one ran into any assholes last night.
Hey, I have a question. Okay, so the AGM, were you up for re-election or you
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they kept you.
Yeah, they kept me. The only election we I got in by acclamation. I got nervous. Nobody was chomping at the bit to nominate me, Kelly. First nomination from the floor, I didn't get nominated. I was like, oh.
Are you offended?
I wasn't offended. I was just like,
were you hoping?
I was a little hoping, yeah. But what I was mostly was.
And then you're going, well, why don't they want me? What?
No. I was like, what did I do wrong? Did I do something wrong?
Yeah.
So anyway, I got nominated on the second nomination, and then nobody else was nominated, so I got about acclamation. Jose was also up for.
Is she back in?
Yeah, she's back in.
Fantastic. Good.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And there's no doubt. I mean, she's doing an amazing job. She's the best club secretary the club's ever had, and no one would dare run against her.
Oh no.
And then Mark Giroux decided not to let his name stand for chief range officer. So our chief range officer is essentially the range custodian. They're the range maintenance person. They're the one to make sure that if something gets done, they either do it or they get it done. So he nominated Alain, and I nominated Joey, that Denis and I work with, and went back and forth for a while. And Alain said I respectfully declined the nomination, and so Joey was acclimated.
There we go.
Cool. And I'm busy too.
Good times had by all. So, all right, Adriel, what about you?
Let's see. I set up a hunting gear guy and Slamfire radio channel on gunstreamer.com. So if you're watching this on YouTube, you're not watching it live. And it's not because we don't like YouTube. It's because YouTube doesn't like us. And we wouldn't be able to handle guns live on stream because they're, I don't know, it's against their terms of service now. So
because they're snowflakes.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So anyways, we're on gunstreamer.com. That's like video for gun kind of stuff. I hit up the range, did a bunch of shooting, shot that GSG 16, a bunch of 22s, a whole bunch of other stuff. And then, like the day after, the weekend after, this stuff showed up from Wanstalls. This is a Savage 64 takedown. What did I say I paid for this? $200? 200 even?
Yep.
I think I spent 200 even on this thing, which is, I think, pretty good for a takedown 22. But it's still a Savage 64. And I think this is different than the last Savage 64 I had. This one, the magazine's like insert fairly smoothly. It's still got that stupid mag release on the front that you kind of have to use your index finger to pull out, but it's all right. This takedown, this nut here on the top, it's all what would you call those, splines? It's all splined on there, and you hear that, like that ratcheting. That's actually those splines acting against a little plastic wear nub in here. I don't know how long that's going to last. Doesn't really seem like something that would last all that long. It seems like it would wear out because if the splines work against that piece of plastic so much.
So you haven't been able to shoot it yet, right?
No, it's been.
I was just going to ask if you have, and if you go out and you shoot like 200 rounds, is it still tight?
That's a good question. I think it would be. Now, like the Marlin Papoose one, you have to use the wrench to tighten it down. If you don't use the wrench, if you just hand tighten it, it won't stay tight.
Right.
This one, maybe. Yeah.
I'm looking forward to your test.
I think they're still working on some of the machine cuts, because if you look at what's going on here, oh, come on, focus. Just along the inside of the stock here is super roughly machined, and that, like, who cares? You're covering it over with the gun anyways.
Right.
But one of the things I noticed is that when you're
tightening
this thing on, it catches your fingers in there if you're not real careful, so it'll kind of like snag them in there, and doesn't feel the best. What else about this thing?
Super light.
One thing that's different compared to the other Savage 64s, there's no dovetail. Yep. It's just a round top. I couldn't find anywhere online what bases to use. It's not documented anywhere on Savage's website or anything, so I called Savage, and they said it was number 16s. So those are two number
Weavers?
16 bases.
16 Weavers?
Yep.
And so
Savage owns Weaver. That's the same company. That's why they'll always have a Weaver base for it.
Now, are those for like the 22 quote-unquote tip-off rings, or are those bases for a standard size ring? They look pretty standard to me.
I don't know the difference. Yeah.
Size. You could not get a 22 tip-off ring on that base, I do not believe.
I don't know. I'm going to put regular rings on it and put a scope on it and see
what regular rings
get out of it.
All right.
Yep. Not much to say. The trigger on this one isn't bad. Like my chamber's empty here, and now I'm on fire. It's a 2-stage, so it's got like a very light first stage. There's a second stage, and that's it. And it's 4.5 pounds. 4.5.
Didn't look super creepy.
Nah, there's no creep at all to it. Like, I like the Savage AccuTrigger, but if this is what I got every time, I think that's fine. There's no creep to it whatsoever. And it's very quick to pack down. They did provide, I don't have it here, the case that they provided is like this Uncle Mike's piece of crap. Oh my god, it is the cheapest, crappiest case you could possibly get, and it's too big for it. It's got a huge pouch, about yay tall,
It wapples around.
for the barrel. Just for the barrel, and the strap down for this one's fine, but it's way too big. You could make a case like half the size of that thing for something like this, and I think you really should. Because the whole point of a takedown is that it's compact and it's easy to carry around. So why not make like the most compact case possible?
Right.
But I have a feeling they just grabbed whatever Uncle Mike's was selling and just started using those because it's not fitted or anything like that. I think this is a new rifle. I think the A22 takedown is new for Savage in 2019.
Sweet. I want to see you do a review on it.
Yeah, I got to get out and shoot it. That's what I got to do.
Yep.
That Federal auto match, I shot that, and I'm like, man, I'm getting like 15% failure rate with this stuff. And I opened up another box, and I tried it. 15% failure rate, and in multiple guns.
Yep.
Multiple guns. So I'm going to have to send that stuff back. You remember I bought like...
a lot.
12 boxes of 325, and like the failure rate I've had with that stuff has been really bad. So I'm gonna have to contact them. I tried. Have you guys ever called Federal for a refund? You call it up and you get like Bob's Towing Company and Federal. Like the first one that's on there is some towing company. I'm not kidding. Federal support line, the first one. Blackhawk Towing. So weird. This is the second gun that was in the pack. This is a Savage A22. And I would say there are some interesting design features on here. Savage, like typically, especially the Canadian rimfires that they make. I believe this is in the Lakefield facility they make these.
Yep.
They always have like a weird mix of like good and cheap materials, like good design, but coupled with cheap materials. So there's a couple things on here that are really interesting. One, the bottom's really smooth. The bolt hold open really makes sense. It's just this little button here that's just forward of the trigger. So if you pull it back and then you push that guy in, it works easy. There's no like grabbing at some blade like on the 1022. So I would say that's very much
a bonus.
better. The cycling on it is really nice. It doesn't have like a lot of 22s will have a really stiff second stage spring, so that first part will be light, and then they have a real hard one. Actually, this Savage 64, this is also why you wouldn't want to get this for a kid, because that's the first part, and then there's a second part that's like just monstrously hard. Whereas this guy is
super easy,
very smooth, nice and easy. That's kind of interesting. Flat bottom. You can like palm rest on this thing fairly well. The mags don't drop free, but they're like that Axis one that has the little spring on the front, so you can grab it and pull them out fairly easily.
That's why I don't own it. I wanted to love this A22. Mm-hmm. I've got the A17, and I'm not a fan of the magazine system. The rotary mag has been proven in the 1022. I'm just not a fan of how it latches in and comes out, especially like if I want to do a quick mag change in Maple Seed or in ORPS. That's not the mag release for me.
I would say like so the Savage, or no, not the Savage, the Ruger 1022. You push the thing, the mag falls down. As long as it's totally vertical, you can't that thing at all. It's like doesn't come out. This one it will come out because as you hit that button here, it's spring loaded, so it's gonna come out. I would probably even come out like this way. Yeah, it's coming out.
Yes, but the hand that you're releasing the mag with should be retrieving a mag while you're using something with your trigger finger to eject it, which I can do with my Matador Arms extended magazine release on my 1022, and with the 597, it's just your trigger finger activates it like an AR.
Yes, if for an IPSC style speed reload, it's not going to be as fast because you are using your left hand to pull it out. The mag itself, again, cheap, and like the design is like there's the interesting things, but it's like
combo
cheap
aluminum and plastic.
Is this aluminum?
Together.
It looks like pot metal. Like
yes, you're right.
Really crappy pot metal that's like painted, and this paint is going to cut. It's already starting to come off, and I haven't even shot this thing yet. It's going to come off, and Yeah, I haven't
They're
had really.
cheap magazines.
They're cheap magazines. They do have a banana mag you can get for it though. That has a bunch of rounds that'll put into it.
Yeah, I've got it for my 17.
Yeah, but like the other interesting thing, this is like a full size rifle. Like this is a decent like long barrel on there. This is an adult rifle, and a lot of 22s are diminutive, I guess. This one is not. It's a big adult rifle. And then the other thing I wanted to show was the takedown method on the bolt. So I've been doing like a lot of 22 reviews recently. There's a couple things that are always like a stickler for me. The mag release and the mag system on a lot of 22s is just terrible. And the other thing that's just terrible on 22s is takedown. Like, what do you need to do to actually get the bolt out to clean it? This guy is almost like an AK-47. It's got like a little pinhole in the back there that you push forward.
Until you master that little takedown technique of the pin and the dust cover on the back, it can be a pain, man. My A17.
It's kind of neat, though. I love the idea. It's like, oh, that's that recoil spring and that little dog leg. That's just like on the T81 or the or your other like AK variants, right? And then the charging handle comes out because the firing pin was holding that, and then the bolt is going to come out as well.
That's
right
so
there.
sweet.
Oh, so good, so good. I want to I love that aspect to it. There's a couple other things that are like, did they have to get that cheap and cheesy with it? But that I really like. That's super interesting and super convenient. Yeah, super convenient.
I would like to go and see the Savage plant.
The Lakefield one, you mean, or the one in the
Lakefield?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whoops.
That's been around a long time. Well, I don't know where they are right now. It's the same place they've always been, but
yeah, they're in Lakefield.
They're exact same building they've always been in.
Yeah.
That's cool.
They're still making like the Savage 64, 1964 is that design that from Cooey though. Cooey started with that one, I believe.
Yeah.
But such an interesting designed rifle. I have seen one of these go down before, but I don't know. How's the reliability been on yours, Trevor?
My what now?
Your A17.
Oh,
I've got it back together.
100%.
This is like way faster than you'd ever do any other 22. To take the bolt out of another 22, I would need like a couple of different Allen keys and a flat to. Oh yeah.
It's been 100%.
I mean, it's interesting. Very interesting.
I like it.
Yeah. It's growing on me.
Okay.
Did some gun videos. They're up. Did an article today on like how my 2019 went, what I'm going to do in 2020, and all that kind of stuff. Threw up some random pictures from the year. Went to our kind of yearly 3-gun meeting. Went through a bunch of stuff.
How did your meeting go?
Which meeting?
Your yearly 3-gun meeting?
Oh yeah. Like whoa, what other meeting am I talking about? I did the thing like Trevor. I did the reverse thing where it's like, can someone else take all this stuff because I can't, and so I got a bunch of other people to kind of do what I was doing.
That means I can load more stuff on you.
No, I got too much already.
Crap.
Yeah. Well, the nice thing about our 3-gun club is it's really well established. We've got a bunch of guys who can do all the stuff, and I can step away knowing like they've got it. So
they're good. Yeah,
they're good. Yeah, I am needed in Maple Seed, and even one of the guys is a in the medical world, and he is going to do a stop the bleed for a bunch of the ROs and volunteers. Yeah,
that's
so
awesome.
We've already got like tourniquet and first aid kits with all of our range boxes. So now everyone will be trained on it, and if we get like a whole schwack of people in there, you're going to have 1 or 2 people on every squad who's qualified for that kind of stuff, which is
with 3-gun.
With 3-gun, that's really cool. I think
that's really cool.
Yeah. Awesome. I mean, like the odds of something happening are extremely low, but it's really nice
to have somebody trained. At least, what happens if something does happen,
and
right?
that the person you need is a bay over. Well, now
Right.
you're talking like 2 minutes to go, like run over, grab whoever that person is, find them, bring them back over, and that's 2 minutes of blood that person's been spurting out their arm or whatever the case might be, right? So,
Right.
yeah, I think
And
it's good to have at least one person that's qualified for that stuff and can react and do the stuff. Yeah.
The other thing is, I was talking about it with somebody today. I said, this stuff, stop the bleed, whatever other training that you have, first aid, first responder, whatever, you're more likely to use it as you're driving in your car as opposed to actually at the gun range. But you still should be trained, and everybody should be trained as well. So,
yeah,
I'm promoting that. So,
well, you default to your training too, right? So if before something happens, you're like, oh man, should I do this? I don't really know. Should I pack it? Should I just cover it and put pressure on it? Whereas you do the course and it's like, oh, I know the thing to do. I'm going to do it.
yeah. Give it all the
else-
gauze and keep poking. And
Something else you can do, Adriel, you're talking about, the guy's two bays over. Well, you've identified him, right? But he's 2 bays over. So you're putting some planning in place. You're getting training. But to help with an emergency situation before it becomes an emergency situation, we had an incident. A guy died. He had a heart attack at the indoor match that I was at last year. And it was a rare heart attack. The thing that was happening, he wasn't showing the traditional symptoms of a heart attack, but he was having a heart attack. And so all of us that were trained were looking for all the signs and symptoms of a heart attack, and he wasn't exhibiting any of them. And then there were some other issues that came up in contacting his next of kin. We didn't have any contact information. So now what the match director down there has done is at the time of registration, there's some fields that you have to fill out to register. You have to identify if you have any pre-existing health conditions. You have to identify if you have any first aid, and you have to are you telling the story? And you have to identify who your next of kin is.
Yeah.
So I'm with you.
Well, not next of kin, just emergency contact, Adriel.
I think putting last of kin on an entry.
You know what I meant? Just your next of kin, not your next of kin.
Who do we call if you die?
You don't call anybody. You off. That's what you do. You leave my body wherever it is and throw some dirt on me, and we'll call it a day. That's what you do.
Deal.
So, if you collect that information ahead of time in practice core, Adriel, who's coming to the range with training before you get there. You know who you got to keep an eye on because somebody says they got epilepsy or somebody's identified as being diabetic. So somebody, they start acting confused or sweating or their breath stinks. Oh, he doesn't have bad hygiene. He's diabetic and he's he needs some stuff. Yeah. So it takes one more minute when you set up your match and practice score to add those extra fields. What are your medical conditions? What's your level of medical training? And what's your emergency contact?
The pre-existing conditions is interesting. We already do during our shooters briefing. Who here is we go down the line. Who's an EMT? Who's trained with trauma? Who's got first aid? And we look around.
Do that
at the nice about that is that you see their face. And you're like, that guy is a paramedic, and he's got a trauma kit on his side. Perfect. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And he usually says, "I want to do it." I have a question. It was something that Trevor, you said. This guy had a heart attack. How many ranges that you've been to have AEDs?
One.
Okay.
And it's that range.
And how many people do you know are trained on them?
Plenty. Everyone who's taken a first aid course since 2015 has been trained on it. So I literally know hundreds of people that are trained on AEDs, and they're idiot proof now.
They are.
You don't even have to be able to read. You just listen. But he wouldn't have got a shock vibe anyway. Wouldn't have been
It's not viable.
Yeah, he wouldn't have been shockable. So
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an interesting point though about AEDs because those are really handy to have on a range, and most ranges don't have them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, no, and it's all about the facility. A lot of times, like you're not going to leave it at the range, so it's the match director's
Theft.
responsibility to have it on site.
It would probably you couldn't do a permanent installation because it would be a target of theft because those things are a couple grand.
Absolutely,
they're expensive.
Absolutely. Yeah. If I could buy one on the black market, I would.
Yeah,
I wouldn't.
We had one disappear from work.
There you go. See,
they walk out of a federal institution with that.
Crazy.
Just in case. Maybe they had a pre-existing condition.
Yeah,
right.
Identified on practice score.
Anyway, you can help your emergency planning by if you fail to plan and fail. So identify conditions and training ahead of time, and then you don't got to put a face to a major. If you do the match check-in on the tablet, people show up in the morning at registration. You check them in. Like, oh, Adria, you identified as being an arsehole epileptic, but you also have first responder. You got equipment. If not, our go bag is over there, kind of thing,
Mm-hmm. I like if your RO gets ventilated, it's nice that everyone knows who's because every once in a while you get an EMT on a squad, and it's good to know that's the guy. Okay, I took a stop the bleed course, but that's that guy can do it. So that's nice to know. Let's see here. It's not gun related, but I'm going to talk about it anyways because it's kind of tangentially gun related. A lot of gun people do camping. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, why not? I'm going to do some camping for Maple Seed, so I've been picking up some gear. A buddy of mine's into ultralight hiking, which is basically you take a backpack with 5 kilos maybe of stuff, and you go on a week-long hike or whatever. So he's a big a gear whore as I am, and I've been getting all this really good secondhand stuff.
Snug, all the snug stuff, snug bags. Have you looked at any of that?
They're too heavy for a hike thing, but I've got one.
No, they're not. They got an ultralight section.
Oh, do they? Huh.
Yeah.
I probably won't get any of that stuff. I've already started to get some momentum here. He gave me this little lightweight tent, and it's 1.5 kilos. It's under 3 pounds.
Yeah.
And a sleeping pad, which is a warm thing that you put underneath you, and that's
yeah. So I also saw your pillow and a mug.
I got a pillow and a mug. Yeah, it's an inflatable pillow. It's very comfortable. I took a nap on it. It's awesome.
Did you?
Yeah. Gotta test this stuff. What else did I get?
And you can wear your sleeping bag as you go.
Mm-hmm. That's if I don't have to carry it, because that thing's 5 pounds, and I've got a quilt on the way that's 0.5 kilo. So that's that'll be the better deal.
Quilt?
Quilt.
Okay.
It straps under the sleeping, because with a down quilt, if you put weight on it, it's not insulating anymore. Okay. So you just use your sleeping pad for the bottom, and then this one just kind of straps to it.
Okay.
Keeps you warm. And then little stove set. So
that's it. Yeah, those are really cool. Those are neat. Yeah. And and then the dehydrated but if you bring dehydrated food, you have to bring water to hydrate it. That's heavy.
Water filter, as long as you've got access to water.
Right.
And you filter it and boil it, or just boil it and kind of go from there. Yeah.
We kind of, that whole thing about camping, and with Maple Seed, we were doing a lot of it not last year, year before as well. And it just so I've actually went out and bought food and put it into the trailer, because when we went to Cannon Access, there was nothing, not even water. Mm-hmm. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yep. I think I'm probably not going to need the water purifier for any of the Maple Seed stuff, because I'll probably just buy water on the way. But it would be nice to have if I end up going camping. And then just for giggles, and because every once in a while I head off to a match, and I'm like, oh man, it'd be nice if I had a couple extra bars so the match goes long or something like that. I got some emergency Coast Guard rations you would put in a lifeboat. This is $15, and there are I don't know, 20 bars in here. 18 bars in there. They're 200 calories a pop.
Can you tell me how many carbs are in each bar?
Oh, it's probably horrible. 1 second. This is not good food for you.
No.
9 grams of fat, 4.2 saturated, 0 trans, 0 cholesterol, 0% sodium. Oh, you don't get your salt from this.
Really?
many carbs?
I'm looking. Protein 2.5. I don't know, 200 calories. Oh, carbohydrates 26 grams.
Yeah.
Per bar. If you ate one a day, fine. That's it. You eat that and nothing else for the whole day.
Well, no, they're 200 calories a pop. You'd lose weight pretty quick. Just eating one.
I don't think that if you're trying to survive, you're caring about keto, though.
Oh, this isn't for surviving. This is like, oh, I'm lazy and I forgot to bring enough food. Well, I'll just eat some of this crap.
So you bought emergency rations meant to keep you going.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Instead of just, some fruit roll-ups.
It was $15, and this is like 3,000 calories. You put this at the bottom of some bin, and it's like, well, if you're really hungry, eat some of this garbage.
Or if the kids are bugging you while you're shooting, say, here, have one.
Have one of these. It'd probably be sweet. There's a ton of sugar in there.
Yeah, I wonder if you should really open them because I want to see if they're like the sugar cubes that the emergency rations are.
No, don't open it. It's sealed for a reason, so it'll last for 25 years.
They're all sealed. They're all sealed in there. Oh, it's looking. Oh, look at that little beauty.
Oh,
this is like that MRE channel where the guy eats hundreds food.
Steve, 1989
That's him,
or whatever. Yeah. Emery
that
Steve.
Looks absolutely gross.
You know what it looks like? I had a hamster. I had a hamster once.
Yeah, and that looks like you take all the shavings after a week of the hamster peeing and pooping on them and compressing them into a brick. That's what that looks like. You nailed it.
It's very dry.
Are you eating it?
Yeah.
Okay, Steve. God, I hope you're done so we can move on to Kelly.
Well, it's so dry. I'm doing some scheduling and range communications for Maple Seed, so we're setting up our different ranges for our matches.
Sweet.
I already got one approved. Working on another one.
Where?
Tell you after the show.
Okay.
I'm done.
Okay, so what I did in Guns this past couple of weeks, I went to the CCFR pub night. It was prior to Christmas, so we all got together in Ottawa. Tracy and Colin were there. We dressed up in our CCFR gear as well as our Christmas gear. So we all had fun. It was fantastic. It was, I can't even remember the pub. Anyways. Had a good time. Got to hang out with some of my CCFR peeps, but I also got to meet some people that are listeners as well. So Derek Butt, hi. Wanted to say hello. And also Alex. Derek, I'm going to be sending out your stuff to you, but I've been away for a while and I've also been up to my eyeballs in work. So I haven't sent anything out yet. So but it is coming out to you, but I just wanted to say hello. So that same weekend, I also went to a meetup with some people from EOSC. What we were doing was we started the planning for the Ladies' Day event that we're going to be having there at EOSC in July. It's July 25th. So anybody who's interested, come on out. You'll have to sign up for it, but anyways, until your lady friends, or if you are a lady, come out on the 25th of July. So. And we picked a date, as I said. What else? Oh, I've been talking to Rick Crane. Trevor reminded me. So Rick Crane is from Newfoundland. We're going to be doing a Maple Seed trip to Newfoundland, and we're going to pair it with a charity shoot that's going to be happening next year. So anybody who's listening in Newfoundland, I just want to let you know that we are coming, and we're going to be having a couple events because it's going to make it worthwhile for us to go. So we just decided we're going to have at least 2, maybe 3 events. So if you're on Newfoundland and you want to learn to shoot, then or not learn to shoot, but you can already.
Point of clarification, we're not pairing it with the charity shoot. It's occurring in another province after the charity shoot. It's the same trip for you, but I don't want anybody confused and thinking that the charity shoot's somehow in Newfoundland.
It's not. We'll get to the charity shoot stuff. But anyways, I'm pairing it with my trip down east for the charity show. Are we done now? Okay.
It's your segment. I don't know.
Okay. Anyways, I got some really cool things for Christmas. I got a Nanook case. It's nice and it's got wheels and everything. It's orange and I'm never going to lose it. And it's fantastic. I'm going to put all my maple seed stuff in it and I'm happy and excited about it. What else? So Christmas happened and then immediately afterwards, Mr. Gallen showed up. So Jason flew into Ottawa and then we were planning a trip down to Michigan. So Gallen got here on the Saturday, but I had to work. So we basically waited till Monday to head out. So I had Gallen at my place, and believe it or not, he wasn't sick and he didn't get me sick. So that was good. Well,
I mean, the test results aren't back yet, so go easy on whether or not he got you sick.
That's true. I haven't been tested yet. Okay. But yeah, so on the Monday we headed out and we went down to Michigan and we had a really, really fantastic time. So Stacy and Bill hosted us down in Battle Creek, Michigan. It was really easy to get across the border. We just want to let you know. So we went down with Gallen, Greg Weiss, and myself. We were in the car and we got to the border and there's somebody from Ottawa, somebody from Kingston, somebody from New Brunswick. So the border guard says, "How do you know each other?" And so I said, well, the
internet. That's how people meet in 20.
No, I said, we're
27.
And why are you going down to Battle Creek? I said, well, because we all met through shooting, competitive shooting, and so now we're going. And he's going shooting. Do you have anything for me? Do you have any guns? And he's getting really excited. Not in a But and I said, no, we don't have anything, and we didn't bring any. He went, really? Oh, like that. He was getting all excited. He wanted to see the guns. But it was easy to get down. And it was like an hour long wait to get across the border. It was horribly long. But we had a great time down in Michigan. We were there for almost a week. Went down on the Monday and came back on the Saturday. While we were down in Michigan, what we did was I went to Freedom Firearms. And Freedom Firearms is in Battle Creek. Really, really good guys. And we helped Autumn look. Autumn is a friend of ours. She helped out with Maple Seed last year doing the East Coast tour. And she just got her concealed carry permit. And now she's looking for a gun. So we went to Freedom Firearms and she was looking at some guns. And then Freedom Firearms guys are really nice guys. And they have the Cricket Club, which is a bar. Oh my God, this bar is fantastic. It's beautiful. We went over to the Cricket Club. We played some darts and had a good time there. Didn't buy anything really at Freedom Firearms because, America and parts. But I did buy some bore brushes. Adriel, remember you were talking about those 22 bore brushes? These ones?
Like this? I got some of the non-brass, like just the nylon ones coming. So I think that.
Oh, okay. I got a ton of the brass ones. So I bought all that. I bought all that Freedom Firearms had, and then later I bought more when I crossed the border as well. So I'm going to be putting those into the Shoot Boss kit. What else? We had a range day because, it's America and we get to shoot things that we don't get to shoot up here. So we got to shoot some. And again, thank you to Stacy and Bill for taking us and also providing the firearms because, so we got to shoot all kinds of cool things. Like I was able to shoot a Glock 43, which is super tiny. And Bill brought his suppressed SCAR game that has the ACOG scope on it. So it was fun. They basically, so the range, they've cleared it a little bit. The one that it used to be a 100-yard range. Now it's out to 300. And that's as far as we could shoot out to. We hung some steel and just shot the SCAR out to 300. So it was fun. What else? Came home on the Saturday, but on the way home we stopped at Bullseye London. So got to meet up with Rick Woods, who's a friend of the show. People probably who've been listening for a while will recognize him. He's with Fire Arts Solutions Training as well. And saw him in London and also saw PRS guru Ken Thiessen. And Ken's going to come on the show as well at some point, talk about PRS.
Cool.
And then So as I was talking to Ken and Rick, there is a guy. His name is Nick Anguish. Do you know him? Sound familiar there, Trevor?
Yeah, I know who Nick is.
Okay, so he was chatting with us, and he says that he's heartbroken about SummerSlam not happening. So, so I wanted to say hi to him. While I was at Bullseye, I spent some money, so I bought some magazines for my 10/22, and then I bought some a brick of Ely ammo as well. I didn't buy any guns though.
And Which Ely?
Ely Force. So, which is pretty good. It works well in my 10/22.
And you were saying you like the Ely Force for Maple Seed distance, right?
Yep. Okay. It's good for PRS as well.
Oh, we talked about how standard was better for PRS. Make up my mind.
I know, but this stuff works well in my rifle at both distances.
Well, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Shoot what you brung.
Yep. Okay. Then what happened is we stopped in Cambridge as well. It was a really long drive because we kept stopping at places, but we kept seeing all kinds of people. We went to the Select Shooting Supplies, which is Dean Carr's store. Met up with him. I bought some other stuff from him. I bought more of these. I bought some PMags for my new AR. And I bought some Black Rifle Company coffee, and I got a new cup and everything too. It's my new go-to mug. But then I also got to see Gavin from the Canadian Patriot podcast, as well as Angela, his baby, Pew Pew Baby, on Instagram. They came and met with us, and we had dinner with them, and we had so much fun, and love seeing them. When I was in America, I picked up our order of M1 Garand slings from Maple Seed. Want to let you guys know that we have them in stock now. So we picked up enough probably to supply the whole entire country for Maple Seed or other events. And we have them in 2 different colors. We have black and we have ODG available. They're $30. Go to our website, Maple Seed, Project Maple Seed, and go into the store, and we'll ship them out to you. Yeah, so we were able to bring those across.
Those are those decent ones, those US made ones, right?
Yep. These are made by M1 Garand.
Yeah.
And good. They're really good. Yeah. The only thing that I would suggest is once you get them, actually take the buckles and everything off, put them in some hot water with some fabric softener, and then wash them, and then you're good to go. They're nice and supple, and you can make the adjustments on them easily.
Wash them by hand or throw them in the machine?
You can throw them in the machine once you've soaked them.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So when I came back from Canada, from the US, there was a bunch of things that were waiting for me. So I wanted to say thank you to a whole bunch of people. But before I do, I've been waiting for like a month and a half for my new, not really, it's been a month. So I got my registration for my Troy AR. I'm going to go and pick that up on Saturday. So yay. And what else? I wanted to give a shout out to Jeremy Murray. So Jeremy Murray, he is somebody who is not only is he a really good guy, but Jeremy is also a Project Maple Seed instructor in training from Saskatoon, and maybe it's Regina. No, it's Regina. Anyways, he likes to shoot IDPA, and he was going to the Worlds, and he put a GoFundMe thing together, and I supported him, and so he sent me a patch, an IDPA patch, and I wanted to say thank you to him. It was waiting for me when I got home. What else? Oh yeah, Mike M. So do you remember the email from the guy that said, send me your address, Kelly, and I'll send you some really cool things to put onto your Nanook case? So I trusted him, and I sent him my address, and it was waiting for me when I got home. He sent me these things. These are really cool. Stickers. His daughter actually is an artist, and she's really fantastic. Her name's Brittany. And she actually drew these, and they're hand painted too. I didn't realize that they're hand painted. So Mike sent me the stickers. I'm going to put them on my Nanook case, but I wanted everybody to go over and like her on Instagram. It's Brittany, and it's BRITTNEY.M.arts, ARTS. Don't be creepy, but go over and like her stuff, and also order some order some of these. They're really cool. She does a lot of pen and ink. It's a lot of skulls and different things from dinosaurs, but really cool. Anyways, so I'm gonna put them on my case, and I'm gonna make it unique. So thank you to Mike and to Brittany. I wanted to say thanks to Bren Romich. He's the guy that is from Winnipeg, and he's the guy that represents Tough Duck, because in the mail waiting for me as well was my new Tough Duck shirt. It's did you see it?
What the duck?
What the duck, and it's hashtag, and it says hashtag ducking autocorrect. So
what's their deal? What do they do?
So they do the like clothing. So it's a clothing line, but it's things like thermal jackets, reflective jackets, safety wear, jeans,
hunting clothing, or
hunting clothing, and all of that. So just go and safety wear and t-shirts like this. So yeah, go to Tough Duck, and they're Canadian, but they sell all over the world, and it's really, really good stuff, including my hat. I like my trucker hat too. So anyways, so Gallon was here. Oh, thanks, Bren. And Gallon was here, and while he was here, he basically gave me the shirt. It's the new CCFR shirt, and he literally gave it off his body. So I washed it in hot water. But I said, I really like your shirt and I want it. And he says, okay. So he gave it to me. So he's going, I got 10 of them. No, he doesn't. He's got 2 of them. He's got the black one. He prefers the black one. And it fits me too. I was kind of surprised because I have boobs and he doesn't. Okay.
So you just you robbed a man of the shirt off his back. You're just like,
I did.
I want that. Give it to me.
I said, take off your shirt.
Or else. There's a threat of violence.
No, I just want to see if it fits. And it did fit. He goes, well, it's yours. Okay. So Gallon was here until Sunday, so I had to drive him up to the airport. And on the way, we stopped in Prescott and met up with Rick Kedebeck, who is the director from Project Maple Seed, and I gave him the slings. And what else did I do? Oh, I had a call with you, Adriel, about planning for Project Maple Seed. I want to thank you so much for that, by the way.
What's the name of that guy that went to the IDPA Worlds?
That would be Jeremy Murray.
Jeremy Murray.
Yep. And I think that's everything that I did in guns these past few weeks. Mine was pretty long. Sorry about that. Okay.
All of ours were pretty long.
Yeah. So we have some upcoming events that are happening. I'll go through with TACCOM first. So TACCOM 2020 is September 11th to the 13th. It's going to be held here in Toronto. So the Canadian Pro Arms Podcasters Network will be in attendance at TACCOM 2020. Your favorite podcasts will be on hand throughout the show. Make sure to stop by the booth and meet your favorites and pick up some of our swag as well. Or drop by while we do our special live broadcast where we will be talking to the event organizers, guest speakers, vendors, and about all of the new things that they have and all the MSC products. You can find out some details about the show at TACCOMcanada.ca, and also stay tuned because in February, I believe it is, they're going to be doing the release of the tickets for people from the public. Trevor, would you like to actually talk to us about the Podcasters Charity Shoot? Why not?
Because there's nothing new since last time.
Okay. Then why is it?
Join up on Practice Score. Is it on Practice Score? Okay, don't do anything. Just sit at your computer, pining away. Keep your credit card in your hand. We'll tell you soon how to register.
That's Perfect. It. You will register on Practice Score. I mean, if you want to read what's there, Kelly, go ahead.
No. I'm fine.
There's nothing
I thought
new.
we were going to update it, though. That's why I said.
Well, there's nothing to update. Nothing has changed since 2 weeks ago. So.
All right, fine. Whatever. Adriel, you have 3 gun stuff, though.
Yeah, you bet. We're going to have all the Western majors have been announced. So I'll go in order of calendar. The first one's the Battle of Alberta 3-Gun Championship. That'll be June 13th and 14th in Edmonton, Alberta. The Prairie Fire Classic will be July 10th to 11th in Saskatoon. And the BC Multi-Gun Championship will be August 1st to 2nd in Lone Butte, BC. Usually Grand Prairie runs a big match as well, and BTSA has sometimes run a Victoria Day match as well, but I'll announce those when they come up. Grand Prairie might have put up... No, I don't think they did it. I'll announce it when it comes up.
Okay. I just want to let everybody know that the 2020 Gunny Girl calendar, we're going to be having a signing at SFRC on January 11th, which is this Saturday, and it's from noon to 3 p.m. SFRC is in Harrowsmith, Ontario. Come on out and see Tamara, Bailey, Jen, and Trinity. Those are the 4 ladies that are going to be at it as well. Kelly Kincaid and I, so Kelly Square, we're going to be there as well. Calendars are $20, and all the money goes to the CCFR Women's Program, which means we're going to be getting more women's events out up and running, and it means more women are going to get into shooting. So if you buy a calendar, or 10 or 12, whatever, and have them signed, then all the money goes back into getting ladies into shooting. Are you okay? You're going to die on us? Okay. Everyone who buys a calendar on Saturday, you're going to receive 50% off in-store purchases, but it's for that day only. Just want to let you know that as well.
If I could just jump back in, Mighty Pieces, big 2-day UML match will be August 21st to 23rd in Grand Prairie.
Cool. All right. Trevor, do you want to talk about the GoFundMe?
He probably unmuted just to sniff, and now he thinks he's unmuted.
he's muted.
That's unmuted. Can you hear that?
Yeah, that's fine. Thank you for visually doing it, so I don't have to edit them to another point in the broadcast.
Yeah,
how many got so far? 4, right?
I know there's one in there that he missed, so it's going to be hilarious to listen to the show and then not tell him about it.
Very lazy.
A fundraiser has been started through GoFundMe for a close friend of mine who we refer to on the show as Officer Frank. So the reason why we call him Officer Frank is because he used to actually appear on Canadian Reload Radio with Andrew Craig, myself, and Matthew. And he stayed on there until he was told not to come on. He stayed on there. I don't want to make it sound like he was a regular host, but he made appearances on the show to answer firearms-related legal questions until his supervisors at work told him no, he wasn't allowed to, because it would be like speaking on behalf of the RCMP. He's not allowed to do that. So anyway, he hasn't been on the show since, believe it or not, the very last episode of Canadian Reload Radio. So my connection to Officer Frank is that we actually met through a previous hobby. And he introduced me to competitive shooting. He introduced me to the Rescue Gun Club. He introduced me to SummerSlam. He's the reason I got a restricted firearms license. He's the reason I got into IPSC. If he had not taken me to the range at the tail end of, I believe it was SummerSlam 3, I never would have gone down the road to be the person I am today involved in the firearms community. It can all directly be traced back to him. He prepared me for my... Back then, you could challenge the course, so he prepared me for the restricted firearms course. He took me to the range to help me practice. We've hunted together. My wife and I spend Christmas Eve with his family. We've been friends now for nearly 20 years.
Wow.
So it pains me to let the listeners know that Officer Frank was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. He started to lose strength in his hands and went for an MRI thinking it was a herniated disc in his neck, and it turned out that it's actually a sarcoma in his neck. So there was a couple of different locations in his body where the cancer is right now, and that's why it's stage 4. Stage 4 simply means it's left its spot of origin and has spread. And the sarcoma in his neck, the biopsy was done in Moncton, New Brunswick, and then the biopsy was sent to Halifax for a second opinion. I have not spoken to him yet today, but it's my understanding that he was in Moncton this morning at the oncology clinic to discuss the results that came back from Halifax and to start discussing treatment protocols. He's already been through 5 radiation treatments, and next it will be, I don't know what it'll be. I'll know when I talk to him. Okay. The sarcoma is rare. and that's all I know right now. But things that I do know for sure is that cancer is a bitch to fight, and it taxes you mentally, physically, and financially. While he's off work, his wife is off work because she's not going to leave his side. They've got to, they're going to incur a lot of expenses beyond those covered by his employer's insurance program. And so I'm asking everyone who is a listener to please go check out the GoFundMe. Please give till it hurts. There's a goal on there, and I want to smash it. I don't just want to reach that goal. I want to destroy it. The fundraiser is doing really well in a short amount of time. It's on day 6 now. I couldn't wait until this episode to start it. I had to start it before then. We looked at and posted information about potential draws as a way of encouraging people to donate. We cannot do that. I've been advised against that for all kinds of reasons. As a matter of fact, I don't care. I'll say it. I was actually contacted twice by the RCMP in the same day. And on one of those phone calls, I was asked to temporarily suspend the fundraiser because as an RCMP officer, things are very political. Ottawa is aware of the fundraiser, and they want to make sure that everything is on the up and up and that he's protected and they're protected, and I get all that. So there's no way that we can start encouraging people to donate and it could win a gun, because that turns it into a raffle, and we're not set up to do that. So we're not going to. So, I've reached out to some dealers and asked them to make a donation and challenge other dealers to match and or beat. No dealer has done that yet, but our friends over at Iron Mountain Cabins in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia, they are very pro-gun. Grant is an IPSC buddy of mine, and CCFR, if not field officer yet, he soon will be a field officer for Nova Scotia. And they run a really cool off-grid camping setup. Well, he did that. He went and made a donation, and he challenged other businesses to match his donation. So the community stepped up in a big way. Rod's shared it. Tracy shared it. A lot of other gunnies have shared it. So please go donate and share this to because he can beat this. 18% of people who get sarcomas live. So, he's just as entitled to be part of that 18 as anybody else. He's big as a horse. They don't call him Frank the Tank for nothing. He's strong. He's healthy. Even right now, he's not quote unquote sick. He's got it's in his lungs, and he's coughing, and it's in his neck, and he's losing strength in his hands, but he's not like sick. You know what I mean? So hopefully things were caught early, but it is stage 4, and it is in a tight spot in his neck, and it could be better, but it could be worse. So let's no one fights alone. We don't have a cool slogan like Bone is not alone, but no one fights alone. He's a gunny. He's a firearms instructor. He helped make me who I am, and I love him. And I hope you guys are gonna step up and show some support. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Trevor.
Yeah, thank you. Just wanted to give a shout out to everybody who's already donated. Fantastic. We had some. We even had some gun ranges donate as well. So it was awesome. Thank you, and continue to share it. If you can't donate, you just don't have the funds, please share it. Just do that as well.
Yep.
All right. Let's talk about the news. So, Adriel, you put this in here. Gunman kills 2.
Well, it's been a bit of an odd Christmas break, and there's been a couple of things that have kind of come up in that time frame. One of them is U.S. and the only reason why I wanted to include it was it's a very clear defensive gun use down in Texas, and it's a very stark change from where they were 2 years ago. There was a church shooting 2 years ago in Texas. Many people died. I don't even think they changed the law. They clarified that yes, you can carry in churches. So what a lot of churches did down there was whoever had a concealed carry license, they got together and made these little security teams. But like, keep in mind, these are all just parishioners. They're all just regular people who are like going to church and stuff like that. Someone tried shooting up a church in Texas, and one of the parishioners stopped him very quickly
in 6 seconds.
Yeah, in 6 seconds. So
don't tell me it when people are critical of the expression, it takes the only thing that stops a bad guy with a gun is a good guy with a gun, and people say BS, like the lefties.
The cops will be confused when they get there. They'll start shooting at each other, and you watch, like, if you've got the stomach for it, you watch that video, and it's like, nope, none of that happened. People responded immediately.
Show me a video. Show me a video where it does happen. Doesn't.
Yeah. People responded immediately. One of the people that responded probably shouldn't have, and it was a little bit too close, but the other person who responded did take down the perpetrator and stopped it very quickly. Yep. Yeah. And
357 SIG sales, you probably couldn't find one right now in America, or the ammo.
Especially the ammo. Yeah.
Especially the ammo. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, a lot of people are saying like, "Oh, this guy had like FBI training and all this other good stuff."
No, he didn't.
No. Yeah, he was like a deputy or something like that, and he had a shooting range.
He was a reserve
deputy, but he was an instructor. He did teach people how to shoot at a range.
Yep.
Well, the reason why I'm bringing that up is a lot of people were saying like, "Oh, he was a professional trained by the government for this stuff." It's like, nah. This is an instructor who, in his private time, has become very proficient at this kind of stuff. And has
unless you're global news, and then you mix the two people up completely and report that it was the gunman who was the firearms instructor.
Right.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
That guy was not.
Yeah. Anyways, I thought it was worth mentioning. The next one, this is frustrating. Because I don't know how far you guys read down on that one. So, long story short, guy in BC is driving around drunk, wearing body armor with a loaded pistol with a silencer on it. Has priors. No, he has priors. He can't have firearms. He actually has.
I thought we were the problem.
He actually has a firearms ban. He can't have firearms. So
how could that be? He had a firearm with a silencer on it.
Where you got the license for the silencer? That's what I want to know. Right?
Okay.
Too far.
Yeah.
3-year sentence. This guy's straight up like looking around to whack someone, like some sort of like 80s mobster, and 3 years. And he has priors. He has priors.
Please tell me he was driving a Cadillac.
No, he's.
You gotta drive a black Escalade these days. Come on, guys. Black Escalade.
Well, you said 80s gangster.
Oh, yeah. True. Sorry. Mixing my time frames up here. Anyways, 3 years. 3 years!
Yeah.
If you'd break all the weapons laws and drive drunk at the same time, 3 years. And like that's not even your first offense. That's like your third or fourth. He got another.
He had a firearms ban. Yeah.
He got another one too after this. You'll be happy and
doubly.
Yes, feel much safer knowing that he's got that fourth one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, there is no minimum sentencing now. Just saying. It used to be 5 years.
Like the problem with minimum sentencing is every once in a while an edge case comes in and you're like, oh man, like this doesn't.
Yeah.
That doesn't fit. Now I gotta put it in the jail for 5 years. But the other issue is that judges aren't incentivized by their recidivism rates or their ability to pick them and choose them in terms of who's going to be correctly rehabilitated or not. So they put someone back out on the streets and they go re-offend. Doesn't reflect poorly on the judge or the person meeting out the sentence, right? So
it reflects badly on me. Just saying. Okay.
I mean, you just let him out.
Yeah. No, I don't.
All right. Maybe you did. I don't know.
No, I don't let them out. Let's bring them home. They need anyways. Okay.
Bring them inside. It's cold outside. This last one is a Canadian defensive gun use, which DGU is like the use of that one. So, hey, why do you need firearms? Well, I mean, this is one possibility. Someone someone might come into your farm and threaten to take your car with your child in it, and you might have to fight them off. So this is an armed perpetrator. Tried to steal their car with the kid inside. Guy went inside, got his gun. They had a gunfight, and guy went inside, won. The perp ran out of ammo.
That's why we can't have High Cat Max.
Oh man, like you read some of this time, we fought with the locks to get the rifles and the bullets, and went outside. Now, some of this stuff in this story is like, I don't know if I agree with that. It said here, I shot just beside him to scare him. I don't know if I agree with that. If someone's shooting at you, plug them. Like it's you're fighting for life. Plug them. Don't shoot beside him. I don't know what the point.
Your children's life.
Yeah. They're saying that the guy was shooting indiscriminately at him and into the house, and why not stop the threat? Anywho, happy story out of northern Alberta. But
the child was saved.
Child was saved. Crime in some of the rural areas is a lot higher than urban because of this kind of stuff. Because people, like, this is way out in the middle of nowhere. This is 45 minutes away from a detachment. So for someone to call the cops, it's like, that's 45 minutes until the cops show up. And this guy, meanwhile, in the meantime, has, taken their car with their kid strapped in the back in a car seat, right? So.
Yeah. The response time is even more than that sometimes, because generally in the rural locations, what we have is maybe one or two cars covering hundreds of kilometers.
Yeah.
And if they're on the other side of that, then good luck. They'll meet you for lunch tomorrow and take a whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, Canadian DGU. New gun stuff. You guys heard about the Ruger?
Which one?
The Ruger 50
pistol?
The Ruger 57.
So FN had a 5.7 that was basically like a tuxedo gun because you'd have to be rich to own it. So expensive, and the ammo was hard to get too. But now Ruger's got one, and it's not so expensive. It's still pretty expensive, but it's not so expensive.
Again with the safety though.
Yeah.
Ruger and their safeties.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's 5.7, and it's not. What's the FN? Is it 1,500? $2,000?
Oh, for sure, it's got to be. And this is probably like $900.
$800, I think I said.
Oh, is that
go.
the MSRP?
Yeah. 20 round mags.
Sweet.
Kind of interesting. If you like that round, that's your option.
I'd like it if we could hunt with handguns. I'd like it just fine.
What would you hunt with that? Small game?
5.7.
It's 22 bullet going zippy fast, right?
Mm-hmm.
I guess small game up to like coyotes from a blind, maybe turkeys.
You got to get your 1 second draw. Present on target for that coyote.
I think the rules would allow me to have the gun out already.
It's okay. The next one is making big waves
exciting
in the 3-gun world, because in the 3-gun world,
what
Vortex
it's doing is making hilarious memes. Is what it's doing.
That's also
1 to 6. 1 to 6 is now for the poors.
Yeah.
That was my favorite.
It was only $2,000, and now Vortex has come out with a 1 to 10 by 24 Razor HD Gen 3 with an MSRP of $2,900.
Right.
Woo! But it's 1 to 10. That's 4 more than the 6.
That is 4 more than the 6.
More than
Now,
6, yeah.
And this is the Razor. So think about this. Like, I just put my Strike Eagle 1 to 6.
Mhm.
Strike Eagle, not Razor. So if the 1 to 6 Razors are for the poors, the Strike Eagle now seems appropriate to be on my SKS, because that's where it is. I've got my.
You
my
literally
amazing...
have a Strike Eagle on your on an SKS?
No, like I bought a much better. I had the Viper HST that was supposed to go on the Stag 10, and then the Strike Eagle 1 to 6 was on the WK, and the Strike Eagle 1 to 8 was supposed to be on the Modern Sporter. And then I bought that Viper PST Gen 2, that one on the Stag 10, and there was a ripple effect all the way down to, ta-da! My Strike Eagle 1-6x24 on my Matador Arms SKS.
No, that scope is way too nice for that.
I know. But, I mean, with this rail on this chassis, it's awesome.
Yeah.
Believe it or not,
Adriel. You got too many good optics if the trickle down has ended up with a Strike Eagle on your SKS.
Right? Yeah. I actually have a Wolf spring kit for this SKS that I have to install and polish this year. I said all that with a straight face. Yeah, but
makes
we took
a big difference.
I couldn't zero it. I had Ben trying to help me. We couldn't get it, and I boresighted it first. Now I've had this SKS in this configuration with my loophole 1-4 shoot a solid 4-inch at 100. So I don't know with the Dominion. I know, Kelly, but this has an 11-degree target crown. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to getting it back out because
cool.
Can't abide having a gun that side in. So anyway, yeah, for the poors, your 1-6 scope is like your trailer trash.
Garbage now.
Throw it
garbage. Yeah.
Yeah. Like if you can't run this new Razor, leave the sport. You're not worthy.
Yeah, those mid-pack shooters
Stop
with the 1-10 still timing out on long range.
How long range? I mean, come on. Man.
I shoot with a red dot.
Right.
Yeah.
You got to hit the same target as everybody else. Got to hit. They don't bring them in the red dot distance.
Yeah.
So it's not necessary. This 1-10 stuff.
It's cool though.
Put it on a PRS maybe. Well, no. The PRS guys are probably going like 24, right?
Yeah.
It's cool. It's cool. Like the fact that it goes up to 10, it's cool. I think
it was Captain Andy that said 10 power with a 24 objective is like, what's the point? It's the size of the objective is wasted if not. Sorry, the 10 power is wasted if not paired with the proper size objective, I believe was his comment.
It'll make for a very small exit pupil, right?
Won't it? I mean, 10 power with a 24?
Oh.
Forever 24 was like 1-4.
I bet you Vortex has thought about this and they just threw money at it and made it work.
Quite possible.
That's it. From the cost, I think that's what they did.
Yeah.
The next one is the Mossberg 940 JM Pro.
Yeah.
So they had the 930, now they have the 940. This one's got blinged out with some gold accessories on it. So that
yeah.
And it jams 10% more.
It jams, no, 10% less, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
It went up by 10, so the jams go down by 10.
You
it says the
10
winner right out of the box.
Between jams. You get 10 more shells before a jam.
Interesting.
Maybe they fixed it. I don't know. Like they did some stuff to it. Looks like they redesigned the gas system.
I'm talking crap because I never had a malfunction with my jam.
You haven't shot like a serious amount of 3-gun with it, though.
No, I have not. I actually sold it to Gallon.
Because if you shot a serious amount of 3-gun with that shotgun, now I have a buddy of mine who has one that works, but that's after he hand polished a whole bunch of the internal surfaces, and that's what he needed to do to get reliability out of it.
Right.
So was it just go through a break-in process or what?
No, you need to like work on some of the parts.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah. Your mileage may vary. You may have one and shoot it a lot. I find none of the serious 3-gunners I know run a 930.
Yeah, and you're right, Adriel. If I put 100 rounds through it, that's it. The guy before me, I don't know how much he put through it, because I don't think he was shooting 3-gun. He had it. He decked it out with some mess of tactical stuff. I ripped all that off, flogged it on CGN.
Yeah. You got to run like 20,000 rounds through a shotgun. And I mean, you're going to get jams in there just due to ammunition and shotgun shells and that kind of thing. But just to see how it does and whether it's good or not. This one might be good. And it's got a couple of things that we're starting to see more on firearms, like the adjustable shims for the length of pull. I'm loving that we're seeing that more in more firearms. And it's got a pre-beveled loading port, so the loading port's already kind of ready to rock and roll for quad loading, and it's very flashy and neat looking, and some people like that. The chokes are also external. They stick out the end there, so you can grab them with your hand instead of using a choke wrench. That's kind of neat.
Well, you can buy those chokes anyway.
Yep. And then Wolverine's selling a hundo thing.
Now, I want to tell everyone that not all hundos are created equally. This is the third. A hundo is the nickname given to a case gauge. That case gauge is 100 rounds of pistol ammunition at a time.
I think it's the shock bottle one that's the hundo, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
The shock bottle one, I am biased because I own it, so I think it's the best, but it may have been the one that came out first. Mm-hmm. There's this one. There's the shock bottle, and there's another one that Fast Toys in Manitoba sells that is also a hundo case gauge, but it's
they got the shock bottle one.
You got the shock bottle one?
No, Fast Toys, they sell the
Fast
shock
Toys
bottle.
Has both.
Oh, do they?
They have two kinds, because I placed an order for a shock bottle and it wasn't in, so they offered me the other one, and I'm like, no, I'm good, thank you. And in the end, I wanted to buy from a Canadian retailer, and they didn't have. I wanted specifically the shock bottle, and they didn't have it. So
they have a double alpha.
I got it from the States, and I saved $28 and got a free flip tray. So right now, the shock bottle is $145 at Fast Toys, and the double alpha is $165.
Yeah.
I don't believe it was the double alpha they offered me, but.
And then this one is $100.
Yeah.
It goes all the way through. Do yours go all the way through? The holes?
Yes, and there's a reason for that. So when it's laying flat on the bench, you put them in, and there's just about the case mouth sticking above, like the rim, sticking above the case gauge, and then you pick it up off the table, and they all drop down, or they don't. And the ones that don't drop into position freely on their own, those are your rejects. Those become the practice ammo. So the reason why I say they're not all created equal is tolerances.
Well, and whether they cut it for a match chamber or a regular 9mm chamber, because like your Shadows and probably your Redback has probably got a pretty tight chamber on it as well, right?
It has a match chamber, and I know this because ammo that goes into the Dillon case gauge won't necessarily feed in my Redback, but ammo that passes in the hundo from shock bottle does go into the Redback. So you want to make sure you're getting it from a company that's using sharp tools all the time, so the tolerances don't change from one case gauge to the next, and that they're actually using tight tolerances.
Yeah. Is this aluminum? They're aluminum, right?
Aluminum.
They can cut like millions of these things before their tooling will wear out. But it is a question of whether they're using match chambers or not.
Yeah. $100. And if you use the NTM cases, those flip trays are a must. I put this on my Instagram. My Instagram name has changed to Alpha Charlie No Shoot, and I've taken a picture of each of the stages, putting the ammo into the case gauge, and then you put the flip tray onto the case gauge. Then you flip those two items over. You remove the case gauge. Now your rounds are sitting in the flip tray. Then you take your NTM case, put it on top, flip it over one more time. Bada boom, bada bing. You've got 100 pieces of ammo stuck into a case or into a bullet box within seconds.
Put them all in. Put that thing on top. Flip it over. Put in the other thing. Put it into the MTGM case.
Flip it over.
Yeah.
Neat. Yeah, you can see them all at the same time, so you can look at all the primers. You can rub your hand over the primers to make sure, if you're more tactile, you want to make sure there's no high primers. And you
gotta touch them all because they're yours. You gotta lick them too.
Yeah, you gotta claim them. Right?
Yeah.
Make sure no one else picks them up. And
gotta lick them.
Yeah,
it's cool, man. When you pick it up and they don't drop down on their own, that's your reject.
Yeah. Well, and a lot of people don't use case gauges up until they're reloading, they're shooting a match, and they start getting jams. And when I mean jams, I mean the cartridge won't chamber, and they've got to rack it out and keep going, and that costs time. And eventually you get to the point where you're like, I don't like that. I don't want to do that anymore. And that's where doing 100 at a time is the way to go.
Oh yeah. If you're doing one at a time, that's for the poors. You might as well be using 6-bar scopes. So the other thing, what I do is all the ones that don't pass, I put them aside, and then when I've got 100 that do pass, then I take them and I put them, the ones that didn't pass, I put them in a different location on the case gauge in case there's a burr or dirt or something. I want to make sure that they don't pass on several slots or holes in the case gauge. Then I know for sure it's the ammo and just not a piece of dirt or something that was in there.
Yeah, then you give that's their friend ammo. Like whenever you take someone out to the range, you're like, "Here's, I got a bunch of ammo just for you."
Did that to McClatchy in a 3-gun once. I gave him some ammo that wasn't case gauge and it didn't feed in his rifle. Oh man, I'm still hearing about that, even though he's not even on the show anymore.
I'll remind him to call you.
Every once in a while, my ears are burning, and I'm like, he's telling that ammo story again.
Cool.
Yeah. All right.
I'm not the host.
I know. I am. All right. So we're all done? Yes. No. All right. Why don't we check in? And the main topic, we've already done main topic. We just talked about a little bit. Yeah. And I totally put this in the wrong spot. Any listener feedback from YouTube, by the way?
We're not on YouTube. We're on Facebook and...
well, it's Facebook, YouTube.
You know what? I'm taking this out altogether.
Tyler was saying Vortex is pricing themselves out of consideration for most people, especially with half their optics being made in China. It's a very expensive scope. I don't think that one's made in China, is it? Oh.
No, I don't think the Razors are.
No.
Oh, but
the Strike Eagles still are. Yeah. But the some of the Vipers, maybe like the Viper PST, maybe I think they do China, Japan, and America.
All right, cool.
Okay, so listener feedback. Let's get into that. Listener feedback is brought to you by, it's sponsored by DC Armory DC Gunsmith. Armory DC Gunsmith is a full-service gunsmith who specializes in firearms refinishing. He offers hot bluing, parkerizing, Cerakote finishes, as well as wood refinishing. Check out his online inventory of new and used guns, firearms, accessories, optics, and more at dcgunsmith.ca. You can also check him out on Facebook and also on Instagram as well. And Trevor, you put some stuff in here, like
he's got a blowout. He's getting out of the Winchester and Browning lines because he was the only one in the region carrying them, and then 2 other people in the region started carrying them. So there's no need for 3 dealers in the region, one of them being Canadian Tire, to all carry the same lines. So he's clearing out what he has left in stock. So for Browning, he's got the A5 Striker 12 gauge, which is a 3.5-inch chamber with a 26-inch barrel, $15.99. You know this gun, Adriel?
Yeah.
Browning A5.
I mean that's what I'm using for my 3-gun shotgun.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
It
is $1,600. It's $15.99, 26-inch barrel, 3.5-inch chamber, and I believe it's already out the box set up for 5 rounds of 3.5. I don't even think you have to do anything to it.
Did it have an extension tube on it?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I'm almost sure. Yeah, I'm almost sure.
That 26-inch barrel's nice too, because mine's 28, and just to have a little bit less would be nice. Like I really like a 24 or 26-inch shotgun. Swings fast. And
if you own a Versamax and have a 28-inch barrel, I got a 26 for sale. Let me know. Browning AB3 composite stalker in 243. I'm looking at this because I was yakking not long ago about not having anything chambered in 243. That's $5.99. A Browning BPS Field 12 gauge 26-inch, $5.99. Browning Maxus Wicked Wing 1849. Browning X-Bolt Hunter in 30-06, $8.99. Browning X-Bolt stainless stalker. I like this a lot. It's 30-06. It's stainless. It's X-Bolt. It's $11.50. Winchester. We're into the Winchester now. There's a Winchester Model 70 Sporter. It's beautiful. It's polished. It's got a deep blue, rich finish. It's a really nice gun. It's in 300 Win Mag. It's $1,099. Then there's a Winchester SXP Field 20 gauge, 26-inch barrel, $459. Winchester XXP Shadow Defender, that's that pump action 12 gauge with a pistol grip, $459. SXP Shadow Marine Defender, Same idea, only it's got the marine coat on it. It's kind of like a matte stainless, $489. Winchester XPR 300 Winchester short mag. When you really need to reach out and touch something fast, that's $550. Winchester XPR Hunter 7mm Rem mag, $599. So there's some deals to be had there, guys.
Go out and contact Denis.
I like the AB3s. The AB3s are like the magazine fit on the bottom isn't that good, but the trigger is. I really like the trigger on the AB3 and the oh crap, what's their other one? Nope, gone. Browning X-Bolt. That's the one. Triggers on both those is really are really good.
The X-Bolt stainless stalker in 30-06. I'm
selling one of those. That exact thing, brand new in box, for way less than that.
You cutthroat bastard.
Hey, you said you wanted to buy it. I'm not depriving sale to any end user.
You're right. We'll have to talk.
Okay, let's talk listener feedback. I put it in the totally wrong spot. It's in main topic.
Close enough.
So, Adriel, do you want to read the first one from Renee?
From Renee. Hello, Slamfire. I was very sad on last week to hear about the recent policy updates done to YouTube to no longer allow the showing of firearms on a live feed. I will greatly miss listening and watching to your show each Thursday when I return home from work. I'm very upset about these recent changes by YouTube. I have reached out several times now to their staff with no response as to why this was done. I would like an answer from them. I feel that with the current state of firearms rights in Canada and the US, this is just another tool Big Brother is using to censor legal firearms owners. When I get a reply, I will share it with you. Until then, we'll continue watching on Fridays. Thank you, from Renee. Now, I don't know if you guys have followed, but CNR Arsenal got demonetized, completely demonetized.
Really?
And they do like clean, above the board historical stuff. And they got demonetized. I had a buddy of mine just say that they just released a video and they were saying range footage may be a no-go. You can't have shooting machine guns on the range.
Wow.
This is like, I'm just getting this in now, so I'm not sure if this is the case or not. But YouTube's, the time's ticking. So that's why we're now on Gunstreamer. We're doing this on Facebook. Facebook will probably kick this kind of stuff off as well. So we'll have to have our own platforms for this kind of thing. It's a legal activity. The only thing these guys are doing is deplatforming us. So we need our own platform that is invincible to this kind of stuff. I don't think you're gonna have any Renee. I don't think you're gonna have any luck with YouTube. Alphabet and Google have a very clear path of wokeness, and I don't think they'll budge on this kind of stuff.
No, I don't think so either. So I'm surprised. I'll be surprised if he actually hears back from them. So yeah. I'll read the one here from Ray B. He says, "Hey there, I'm currently looking into 22s for the purpose of a Maple Seed event. Woo! I heard you talk about the Ruger 1022 and the Savage Mark II, and I will look into them. But have you had any experience with the CZ450 or the Tikkas? Also, possibly looking into a new Bergara. Those are nice. Yeah, they're expensive, but those are nice. Looking for some input on going cheap. Well, it's not a Bergara then, and building up, or just spend the extra and get the quality right off the line. Also, a question for Kelly: how often are the dates for Maple Seed updated? So why don't we go back to the build cheap, and I'll talk to you about the Maple Seed dates. We'll just do it as we go. My best advice to you is don't go super cheap. The reason that we say 1022 and Savage Mark II is because those are proven and they work well. The Savage Mark II is obviously a bolt. 1022 is a semi-auto. So you can do all kinds of things with your Ruger 1022 and change it out, personalize it for you, make it fit you. But you can actually start with just a super cheap rifle. The reason that Maple Seeds kind of work is because you go there and you actually use the rifle that you normally use. Please, though, I would love for you to bring whatever you usually shoot, but if you're using a lever action tube fed, don't bring it. The Cooey single shot, don't bring it. Just bring a good, reliable rifle. You don't need a Bergara.
Yeah, good platform that a good platform to learn on, not the platform that's going to get in the way and make it harder. No. Something that makes it easy.
Right. So and then you can actually, I would suggest buying something that's cheap, reliable. It's going to work, and then you can actually go out and buy something else. So, like, for example, the Bergara, which is fantastic, but you'll have the skills at that point. So that's my advice. Anybody else got anything different?
Are there any bolts that have a flush fit magazine? Ruger has one, don't they? Doesn't
5 round in
America? Ruger American takes a 10 shot flush mag, right?
Right. Absolutely. Yep.
So I was thinking about this before when the liberal gun ban. Like, what if they ban all semi-autos, including rimfires? Well, then you'd have to go to bolt for something like this. What bolt would you want? You want something with flush mags, because with a lot of the rifles that have a mag that sticks out, your hand juts into it, and then you cause misfeeds because it's you're applying pressure to it because your hand wants to be there and you're pressing it sideways, and now you can't load it or whatever, right? So I would think that the flush fit ones that have a flush bottom would be good. Maybe the Ruger American Rimfire, because it takes the 10 round
and the Ruger
mags.
Precision.
Yep.
Ruger Precision also runs the 1022 mag.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So one of those.
But those are a little bit more expensive too than like the Savage Mark II. So if you want to just go cheap, but as I said, reliable, and then you can actually look at something different after that once you have the skills. So you're asking about the Maple Seed updated. So with respect to posting our schedules, we're currently working on them. You already heard that Adriel is working on Alberta. We have some other instructors now in the different regions, so they're also going to be working on their own schedules as well. We have somebody doing the East Coast. We have some people in BC that we're going to be talking to in the next little bit, and they're going to be starting to look at BC. He's in Fraser. I think he's in Fraser Valley. So you're in BC. BC is a little bit more hit and miss. We don't have as many. Instructors out there. We'll probably have to go to BC this year again, just to try and get some more instructors in training, and then get our shoot bosses, give them some support as well. So we're going to try and post all of our year as soon as possible. Do it first, and then fill in odds and ends if we decide that we're going to have one-off events or anything like that. So probably by the end of February or beginning of March, we'll hear back from all the ranges, and then we'll post our schedule. I'm just saying that, don't hold me to it, but that's what our plan is. So yeah, or that's what we're hoping. Mm-hmm. Okay, so he says, also a question regarding the state of the semi-auto bans. Well, we just talked about that. Looking into the future and say they ban the AR-15 and such variants. Is the LAR-15 or LAR a variant or a pistol?
It's a variant.
Yeah.
It's an AR-15 pistol it'll go to.
Yeah.
So
still have the mags, though. We'll still have the mags for this mystery gun that is prohibited. You can own an AK-47 mag right now. You can own...
we've got a couple of guns that use them.
Yeah.
Yep.
So the mags will still be around.
Right. Okay.
Mags aren't controlled.
Well, they're not supposed to be controlled, but they still try.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Trevor, can you get this one from Edmund?
Sure. From Edmund. Hi, guys and gal. A belated Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. I just got caught up on the last few episodes, and I have some comments. It's great to hear many of the show fans use the Cabela's affiliate link when making their Black Friday purchases. You were looking for another place to host the show since YouTube has gone to the dark side. I recall Adriel looked into Pornhub in the past. It's a great. It has great infrastructure, doesn't censor, offers HD capabilities, and we're all familiar with the platform. Have you considered it again? It was. I was disappointed that Matthew didn't show up for the Christmas show. With so much absenteeism, Trevor can claim the title for longest-running Canadian firearms podcaster, going all the way back to Canadian Reload Radio days. It's well, everything is a contest, so if that's the thing I can start claiming, I guess that's it. I'm the longest-running Canadian program podcaster. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Edmund.
Everything's a contest.
And good night. Yeah. It's interesting. Trevor expressed an interest in double-barrel shotguns. I used to have a semi-auto for trap and skeet, but a year and a half ago, I bought a Canuck over under 12 gauge on sale for under $500 from SFRC and haven't looked back.
Wow.
It swings so nicely. I can have different chokes for each shot, example mod, then full, or for wobble or international trap. I get low bore axis and no flipperosity when I fire the underbarrel first, which allows for a quick second shot. I don't eject empty shells all over the field, and cleaning is so much easier. I like over-unders so much, I now picked up a used Browning Satori, which is a very, very nice over and under shotgun, in a Black Friday sale. It's too bad Cooey didn't make a double barrel. Otherwise, Trevor could have satisfied two desires with one purchase. Keep up the podcasting, and I look forward to another year of great shows, Edmund.
Aww.
It reminds me of a discussion I had with Jason Philp about shotguns, and he goes deep on very nice trap shotguns, and I have a feeling that Edmonton's going down that path. He started with a Canuck over under, now he's looking into a Browning Satori. Before you know it, he'll have like the price of a new car into a shotgun.
Right. And you can do that, no problem.
Very easily, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. For something that has so few moving parts, they're very expensive.
Yeah. Oh.
It can be.
All right, Adriel, Tom.
All right. Oh, I'll read Tom's email. I was talking to Tom about
Tom
this last night. Yeah. I'm glad he emailed in. Hi there. I've been eagerly following Trevor's journey into the world of 7.62 by 40 WT. In episode 335, just after Trevor's rant about 6.5 Grendel, and then asked if there was a 6mm cartridge that uses 222 Remington as a parent case. Turns out that there is 6x45, aka 6x223.
It might be a typo. It would have been 223 Rem.
223 Rem. Maybe. Yeah. There is a 222.
There is, but I wouldn't have asked for it. Not when I have copious amounts of 223 brass. So I'm not sure. You have to clarify that first, Tom.
This is the 223 cartridge necked up. Oh, the 223. There you go. Necked up to a 6mm projectile. I'm wondering if there is any chance that Trevor could start experimenting with this cartridge next. It's not like he has any kids that are competing for his disposable income. It'd also save me a lot of money. And it'd probably be just as entertaining and informative as his experiment with 7.62 by 40 WT. Thanks, Tom O.
Very interesting.
What are the bullet weights with a 6mm 223?
90 grains. So far, I only see one listing, and it's a 90 grain bullet. So it's a 6mm 90 grain bullet in a 45 case. So it's by 45. It's not by 40. There's no trimming, and we're talking at the muzzle 2,700.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. Yep. I'll take a deer. Yeah. And that's very interesting. It wouldn't have the same feeding problems as your 6.5 Grendels and that kind of thing.
Exactly. And again, the only thing you change is the barrel.
He was also talking to me last night about the 300 hammer. 300...
Yes. Now, if I had known any better, he's not. Is he done reading? Yeah. The email is done. Yes, the 300 hammer came out after the 7.62 by 40 WT, and it's just a beefed up, angrier version of the 7.62 by 40 WT, and it allows you to actually get bullets up to 150 grains in this caliber. I think it's what Bill Wilson wanted in the first place when he started playing with the 7.62 by 40. They claim legitimate 30-30 ballistics out of an AR-15 with the 300 hammer. Yeah, if I had known it existed, If I had to do it all over again, I'd go 300 hammer.
300 hammer. So, word to the wise, if you were looking for a 30 caliber 223, 300 hammer.
And also, and I will have to double check this, but unlike the 7.62 by 40 WT, I believe the 300 hammer receives SAMI spec or SAMI approval. So if it's the 7.62 by 40 is a complete wildcat. It's not been SAMI approved, so the availability of commercial.
I don't know who the SAMI guy is, but I don't know. Like, I don't care about his.
Well, what the SAMI guy does is he puts a stamp of approval on stuff, and then manufacturers start to make that ammo and sell it commercially, and that has not really happened. Right?
That's the important part.
It needs to be Trevor approved.
Well, that's all in my world. It needs to be, but unless you're going to roll your own, not every, a lot of guys would love to have a 300 hammer, but aren't into reloading or wildcatting. So,
Yep.
Okay.
Neat.
Yeah. If you'd like to email the show, send us an email at slamfireradio@gmail.com. We'd love to hear from you. And let's do some shout outs. Trevor, do you got any?
Yeah, absolutely. To everyone who has contributed to Francois Levesque's GoFundMe and all those people who have shared it, thank you so much. And we will, of course, keep the listeners updated. There's a lot of listeners who have met Francois over the years. Like, Francois would be working and we'd be having a party here because there's a match going on. And all of a sudden someone would come running in the kitchen and go, "Trevor, the cops are here." Right? Frank would just walk into the house like he owned the place, right? And just some of the guys who even recognize him would just shut up at first, right? To watch the other people freak out. A cop just walked in like, "What? We're busted." Yeah, it was always so awesome. So a lot of guys know him. A lot of girls know him. A lot of gunnies know him. And a lot of people in the community know him. Just a super guy. So there's some listeners that have met him but haven't seen him in a long time, so I'm sure they're interested in knowing how his health is and stuff. So I will continue to share updates, and hopefully they'll be very positive.
Yeah, we'd love to hear updates on them. Okay, Adriel, what about you?
Just the guys at 3Gun taking my stuff and running with it, so I don't have to. So I can.
That's not what you have written.
I'm gonna do more
you have
stuff
something
on
else
Maple
written.
Seed. I would like to spend next year doing a ton of Maple Seed, and I couldn't do that if I was also adminning a bunch of stuff on 3Gun. So I'm glad that I got the time, because the amount of Maple Seeds I have will be trying on my marriage, I think, as it is right now.
Yes, sorry.
And why are you sorry? I picked that schedule. I made that schedule, not you.
Yeah. I'm still sorry. And I also wanted to say thank you to the 3Gunners that took over for you too, because you're making my life easier or harder. I don't know which it is yet, so we'll see.
Easier, I think.
What?
Easier, I think. But I need you to put a ton of stuff in the mail. Just like load up a delivery truck full of like targets and like send them west.
Yeah, we can do that for you. Okay, y'all done? Okay, I wanted to give a shout out to everybody, particularly Stacy and Bill for hosting us, but also to Autumn and Greg and even Gallon, although he says he's not listening all that often anymore. Just letting you know, for the fantastic time that we had down in Michigan, and also for taking us to the range, and just the whole entire week was really, really good. I needed it, so just wanted to say thank you for that and give you guys a shout out. Let's talk about Patreon. We do have Eric Dell, he's upped his Patreon pledge. You guys can do that. If you're already a Patreonie and you want to show us your love, you can actually go in there and change your pledge as well, or your Patreon contributions, and up it if you'd like to.
It doesn't work in the reverse. You can't actually drop it. It's impossible.
No, they come like black helicopters overhead. Yeah, it's not. Don't do it.
Yeah, but thank you to everybody who are already Patreonies, and we'd love to see more of you too. It allows us to actually, do do the shows, and the high quality, cameras that we have on our computers. I really do have to get the new computer or laptop set up, don't I? Yeah.
Looks potato.
I'll do that.
Somebody made a comment about your. There's obviously no filters on the feed or something. I don't know what they're talking about, but you look better on Instagram. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what you said.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like me.
Well, kind of does.
Yes, it does actually. It was you. So yeah, if you'd like to show us a little bit of love, go to patreon.com and /Slamfire Radio, or just search it and and up your pledge or whatever. And that's about it. So what we'd like to do is actually just why don't you go over to Cabela's, go on our website first. There's a little link there. It's Cabela's.
So that's about it, except for the 5 more minutes I need to talk.
Shush. Okay. Go to our website. If you're going to Cabela's, you might as well go through our website.
When it's time to say that's about it, she won't say it. When the show is actually done, she'll just kind of hang there for a second. I can't wait. Go.
You done? Okay. Go click on the Cabela's link. Go shopping. We get a little bit of kickback as well. Go over to the CCFR website. Join them. They're a fantastic organization for all of us gunnies. Also, join us on Gunners Canada. There's a thread there, and you can talk to us there. There's some comments on there recently, so thank you.
And go sign that petition.
You know what? We didn't put the petition on there.
No.
We've talked about it before. Sign the petition until it's closed, and it's not closed. So sign the petition.
Right. It's 77,000 signatures already, but
it's not nowhere near where it needs to be.
I know, it's kind of sad, especially you people in Newfoundland. What the hell? Just saying. You need like 735 people. Really? Anyways. Okay. Like us on Facebook, and that's it. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
So if you have any comments or questions for the show, please send an email to slamfireradio@gmail.com. Now go grab a gun and shoot something.
When the talking is over, it's time to get a gun.